Naira held Ryan on her hip as she walked out of her chambers, leaving Konner and the High King to speak. Navigating the palace hallways, she watched her son. His sandy blonde hair was turning dark like his father's, and his big bright eyes watched the intricate and bright architecture overhead. "Is that sparkly?" Naira asked. Ryan nodded, giving a wide smile. The clinking of boots drew the child's attention forward as guards on patrol entered the hallway. They stopped, letting the princess pass. Ryan reached out to one. The guard extended a few fingers, letting the toddler grab them and giving them a shake. "How is son Prince?" the guard asked. "Soon to be High Prince," Naira replied. "Congratulations, Princess," the other guard replied. "Thank you." She pressed on, arriving at the library. Turning around, she leaned against the door, causing it to swing open. Inside, the High Queen put several books away. Seeing her daughter-in-law and grandson enter, she turned away from her pile and approached. "Is it that time already?" she asked. "It is. We thought we would come and say good night to grandmother," Naira replied. "That is a shame, because I could stay up all night with this little guy," the queen replied. She tickled Ryan's neck. He giggled and raised his shoulders, leaning into her hand. "My sweet boy, I love you," the High Queen added. She stopped tickling him and kissed his forehead. Naira looked around at the piles of books scattered on tabletops, chairs, and even a few on the floor. "This is not very like you," Naira said. "I know," the queen replied. "I usually do not make such a mess." Naira walked to a nearby pile, reading the titles of the books. Her brow furrowed before looking back at the queen. "These are a little bit dark, are they not?" Naira asked. The queen stood in place, watching the crackling fire on the far side of the room. Her lips pursed and brow furrowed as she tapped the back of a chair. "Did you know my mother was a seer?" she asked. "I thought those went extinct a generation ago," Naira replied. The queen shook her head. "We stopped using them a generation ago. They still exist." "If they still exist, why stop using them?" "Because we realized their abilities were not based on what could happen, but what would happen," the queen replied. "When there is no chance at changing the inevitable, one loses the agency to live in the present because they are too worried about what will happen in the future." "So we decide to keep our head in the sand instead?" Naira asked, as Ryan rested his head on her chest. The queen looked at her grandson. A soft smile spread over her face. "Even with the time of mourning, if you saw his fall, would you not abandon all else to try and change his fate?" Naira paused and looked at her son, her heart swelling for her child. "Good point," the princess whispered.